What we are talking about in this episode is the most accurate information we could find or have come across. These are simply our thoughts and opinions on the matter. Please do your own research and feel free to let us know by email or comment if a fact we stated was inaccurate or wrong.
Okay, welcome back to Setting the Record Straight, where I educate my father about things that should already be obvious. So, today he gave me the look, man. I'm kind of pissed about what he be saying because I was just gonna ignore this conversation and literally just be like, nope, okay, and just keep scrolling on my phone. But, want to talk about it and you want to learn, which is great.
Thank you.
So he sent me a funny thing on Twitter, or why is it called X.com? What is that?
Oh, he wants to change Twitter to X.
Why?
It's just a dream he's had since like the late 1990s.
Okay, weirdo.
To have a platform, and there's a whole bunch of other things. That's a different topic.
Okay, anyways. So, sent me a funny meme, and it was about on lesbian dating apps, or if you are a lesbian on a dating app, that they are terrified of trans women. It shows
The Shining, where
it
here's
depicts
Johnny.
Yeah, it depicts the face in the crack of the door and stuff. And my dad asked me, would you ever date a trans woman? And I said yes. The biggest things that would make me hesitate is if they still had a penis. And just going to be blunt here, I don't know how to satisfy that. And so that would be one big thing. The other reason would be that, my family already is pretty, they find it sort of problematic that I am queer. And so to have a trans girlfriend, that's like queer times two. And it's just sort of, I think it would make things more difficult. And then my dad, he proceeded to ask me, well, what makes a girl to you? And I said someone that identifies as a girl. And personally for me, I go for people with more feminine features, and that doesn't exactly mean like long hair. My type is basically girls with short hair, actually, which isn't, and this is in quotation, isn't considered like feminine, but just sort of a very caring nature, someone that uses she pronouns, or, even there's some non-binary people I've gone out with, and they are a little bit more feminine presenting, but they still identify as non-binary. And so really just any femininity. I love that. I love women loving feminineness. Does that make sense to you? And I'm worried some people might say that, I'm non-binary phobic or whatever. But, a lot of the non-binary people that I have seen, they also use she pronouns or, are just very feminine. And I'm attracted to femininity. So to me, girl is someone who uses she, her pronouns, she, they pronouns, and is feminine. I don't know how to explain it better than that, but I would date a trans woman.
Trans woman.
Yes, I would. I like I said, I would be hesitant about those things, but if I really, really liked her and we got along on so many different levels, and it was very easygoing. I really liked her. She's really pretty. I would totally date her. And what about that is weird to you?
That negates your lesbianism-ness. Because in order to be a lesbian, don't you have to adhere to certain policies? No, adhere to certain things like
dating a girl.
Dating a bingo. And what is a female? What is a girl? What is a woman?
Dad, I have explained this to you.
Yeah, you said a lot of feminine qualities, but you didn't
sex and gender are different.
Okay, so for all of my conservative uh, dads out there that wish their child was into the opposite sex instead of the same sex, find somebody you really like and dress them up in a dress, and then
No.
set them up with your daughter, and then years down the road have them take the dress off, and ta-da, everybody's non-gendered, and the correct things are adhering and whatever.
What are you talking about?
What you're saying is you're negating the whole.
Dad, if they identify as a girl and I like them, I will date them. I'm into girls. They're a girl. Sex and gender are different, bruv.
Yes, I know you've told me this multiple times, and I can understand that. But when it comes to you, my daughter, saying that she would date a person that has the male equipment is mind-boggling, because that means you are not a lesbian in my dictionary, in my pigeonhole, in my understanding of the world. In order to be a lesbian, there has to be two females. In order to be a homosexual male, gay or whatever, there has to be two peepees. Okay? I how can you say you're a lesbian, but you're...
Sex and gender are different.
Ugh.
I am attracted to the girl gender. That doesn't equate to being attracted to the female sex. Although the majority of the time, yes, that is how that goes. But when I say I'm a lesbian, I'm attracted to girls. Okay?
See, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand how you can be a lesbian if you're dating someone of the opposite sex, right? Am I using the correct terminology?
Opposite.
Genders, they are of the opposite sex, because sex and gender is different. Gender, you can be whatever you want to be that day. Sex is, you look in your pants and that's what you got, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how can a lesbian date somebody of the opposite sex? Gender has not entered the equation yet.
Gender is always a part of the equation. What makes you think that it hasn't, entered the equation?
Because in order to be a lesbian, what is the definition?
Being attracted to girls.
Okay.
Being a girl attracted to girls.
Yes, yeah. That's kind of the important thing. So you could say you could have two dudes in dresses saying that they're lesbians.
Yes. If they identify as girls.
And you're saying
together.
that without laughing and a straight face.
Yes,
Holy
Dad.
crap.
Yes, Dad. Dad, yes. If there are two trans girls that are together, they are not gay men, they are lesbians. If they both identify as girls.
That is a little bit odd. It's mind-blowing how you can do the mental calisthenics to jump around, to pigeonhole, to make that even make sense.
What do you mean? What do you mean jump around? Like, it's explain your thinking maybe in a different way that I could understand better.
Back in my day, lesbians were lesbians, and gays were gays.
Oh goodness!
They didn't have all this other weird junk going down, and
I think they still did, bruv, but there were no titles for it. Do you realize how many women would?
I'm sorry, what?
How many women?
Yes, what is that? Seriously, you have to define it now.
Okay, just
signed at birth female, or whatever you want to call it.
AFAB, which is the term for that. But would
is that
dress
the
up,
woman you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Would dress up like men so that they could be with their girlfriend, and then they realized, I really like dressing up like a guy. But in that age, you couldn't figure out, oh, I am a guy. I really like this. I'm really comfortable with this. I am a guy. That wasn't a thing that people realized. It didn't have any name or label or nothing, but it was a thing that happened. So back in your day, it was still going on. There just weren't labels for it. There weren't other things. It's like let's equate it to like medical advancements, right? So cancer was still going on.
They just
Way,
didn't have
way,
the
way.
term
They just didn't
before.
have the term for it.
Right. Okay, I hear that.
Yeah. So trans people still existed. Obviously, fewer in numbers because people didn't realize that was a thing that they could do.
Oh,
And
because they
non-binary
didn't have the
people
surgery,
existed.
They didn't have the medicine, and they didn't have the medical advancements.
Not
too.
really medical. I was just saying like medicine or you know, chemo. Let me think about what I'm trying to say. Let me try to figure something else. I'm not saying medical relates to being trans. What I'm saying is back then things existed that didn't have names for it. So cancer existed, nobody had names for it. Trans people existed, nobody had a name for trans people. Does that make sense?
Correct.
I'm not saying
Yep.
trans people equate to yeah. Or another one, it's like man, I don't know, like science about space. It existed. Nobody had a name for it. Nobody had done enough research about it. Nobody had, you know, set it up or whatever. So, queer people have existed for forever. But people back then didn't know that it was okay to, you know, want to be a guy or to want to be a girl or to want to be neither. So all of that existed and people had those thoughts, but it hasn't been until present day that people feel like they can actually do something about how they're feeling. Does that make sense?
I see what you're trying to say, yes. My thing is whatever is in the pants is what's dating whatever's in the pants. Okay. Sorry,
but it's not all about sex. It's not because a lot of the times, you know, when people are looking for a partner, they get to know the person first, and then, you know, it might lead to other things. But then the other thing is that, like, what if both of them are ace? So let's say an AFAB woman is ace, and that means asexual, doesn't like sex. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then a trans woman doesn't like sex either. Okay. So nothing sexual is happening.
They're friends.
Really? Friends that kiss and hold hands? No, kissing is not equate to sexualness. Kissing can be seen as romantic. It depends on the person.
See, that's why definitions are important.
No. Black and white things I find are never good. Yeah. You need to have
I'm not
gray.
saying deal in absolutes like the Sith.
It's different. No, yeah, you're saying
no, I'm not.
Definition. This is what a woman is. This is what a woman is not. No, there's nothing like that. It is a very gray line. Everything should be gray. You're exactly saying to deal in absolutes. How do you think that you're not?
Because then there is no absolute definition of a lesbian then.
Yeah, there is no absolute definition.
Okay. Yay, my daughter's been healed. She's not a lesbian anymore. What the heck does that mean?
I identify as a lesbian, Dad.
Why?
So...
Because you like dating? Bingo.
Girls!
So if I find some upstanding gentleman out there in the community who's making lots of money and wants a family and this and that, and I say, get in a dress.
She becomes trans, and she is trans and doesn't detransition. Yeah, I'll love her. Whatever. I don't care about the rich, the wealth, whatever. We get along.
The wealth?
The wealth.
The wealth. I thought you were talking about what was...
No, I don't care. You're talking about finding someone outstanding and wealthy and whatever. That to me doesn't matter. We get along. She is trans. That doesn't matter to me. But if she detransitions, we'll still be friends. I'm just not attracted to her. If she detransitions,
Well,
she
just
would then
pretend
be a he.
they just wanted to wear pants that day. And then the next day they start growing a beard. And then the next day they wear shirt tie.
They identify as a man, then I'm like, peace out, homie.
Nope. I still have earrings or a lipstick. I still identify as a female. Man, that beard's getting thick. Boy, oh boy.
Well, I would never date anyone with a beard because making out that hurts. So that would probably be where I.
Well, I'm not trying to get down that road. What I'm trying to say is,
if they have
there's so much
features,
confusion in that community.
I'm so sorry that you're so confused, Dad. It really is.
No, and I'm not being. Oh, I'm so confused like the millennials and crap. I am absolutely, literally confused.
It's very.
When words don't have meanings, that's where confusion enters.
It's very much on a spectrum. That's what we base a lot of our things on. It's like when people say they're bi, that doesn't mean they're 50% into women, 50% into men. No, that doesn't mean it at all.
Right.
It fluctuates. The percentages fluctuate. And it's allowing your sexuality to, move to how you're feeling is totally normal and perfect and fine. Does that make sense? I think it's hard for you because there's no definite answer. But that's the great thing about it, is that everything is very fluid. Everything, like, just the amount of freedom that just comes from being queer. It's just it's very much.
You have no discipline.
What do you mean?
It's like you can go into a restaurant and just order whatever you want off the menu, whatever you feel like having that day.
Yeah. What a great way to live. To just, date whoever you want, consensually, of course. Date whoever you want. Be whoever you want. Do you realize the freedom of that?
How can you date?
Could you imagine walking into a restaurant and only being able to order a grilled cheese? That's so sad. What if you don't feel like grilled cheese that day? You see what I mean? That example you gave me was perfect and you just walked right into it.
No, what
literally
I'm trying
the
to
freedom.
say is,
Wouldn't you love to go into a restaurant and order whatever you wanted?
Yep, yeah, we're talking food, yes. But when it comes
I'm talking symbolism up in this.
When it comes to relationships, I would want a relationship.
Okay, that's what you want. So
Yes.
let's say you want a burrito. Someone else wants a grilled cheese. That's what you want. That doesn't mean that's what everybody else wants.
That's correct. What I'm trying to say.
Ooh, mic drop. Ooh, get that. Go on. What you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I don't understand how my daughter, who claims to be a lesbian, would date somebody with male plumbing. I know you keep saying it's not that, Dad. It like I said before, gender, no. It's a sex component, not actual sexual intercourse. Sex as in male, female. That blew my mind, Poot. I had no idea.
Man, I don't know how to explain it to you, bro. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know, dude.
I love you for who you are.
Thank you.
I am afraid that this confusion might cause problems for you.
How so?
Well, I've never seen you date a
trans woman?
Assigned a woman at birth.
I've never dated anyone, so.
Well, yeah, I don't see how the male
Well, here's the thing: is okay. I think what you need to do is What's the word? Compartmentalize it, because just because you don't understand it, there are other people that understand it, and the thing is that they're the only ones who need to understand it. If they know what they're feeling like that day, that week, that month, that year, really that's all that matters. Like, your confusion.
Oh yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter to me, but I am looking at my daughter like, my gosh, there must be so many weird things going on in her head, and there must be so much chaos.
What?
And there's no peace.
That's just because of my ADHD. That's not because I'm gay. It's I think what's important for you to realize is that, like, you know, the people who are in very queer relationships, and you are valid in your queerness. You know, a lot of bi people, I want to be careful with that, because a lot of bi people, you know, they feel bad that I've only ever had boyfriends. Let's say they're a girl, and I've only ever had boyfriends, so that means I'm not really bi. Yes, you are really bi. You know you like women. So your queerness is valid. So when I say more queer, it doesn't actually mean more queer, because your queerness is valid. So anyways, what was I going on with that thought? Yes, it only matters to the person who is in a queer relationship that they understand what they are feeling, how they are feeling, and who they are feeling, who they're feeling up. No, sorry. It's just, I don't know. The only thing I could really say is that it's, you know, I know it's confusing to you, but to the people that it's happening to, it's not confusing. So don't worry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just worry about my daughter.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I hope y'all were able to make some sort of conclusion upon that mess. And if you're still worried, just don't worry. It's like if you're homeless, just get a house. If you don't want to die, just live. Problem solved. If you're depressed, just be happy.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. I am the lesbian. I had to say that kind of weird because my dad is questioning that I'm a lesbian if I would date a trans woman. So,
Women's.
I am the lesbian daughter. This is my father.
I am the confused conservative dad. And this was everything that we've known and the light that we have been given and our understanding at this point in juncture.
All right, well, this has been Setting the Record Straight.